Grab your glass and pull up a chair. It's time for your favorite girls' night in.
Welcome to Pouring in Parenting. We're your besties, Sil and Inish.
We're here to laugh through the chaos. Hello, Pores. Let's start the show.
Welcome to Pouring in Parenting. I'm Sil.
And I'm Inish.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode. Inish, how's it going?
It's going really good. I'm well rested, and today is a really good day and no complaints. Weather's nice. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's a little bit of a chaotic morning for me just because things are a little bit different in our routine today. I had to go to the store to get cupcakes, and then I got my drink for today, and I got some michelada mix. And has it ever happened to you when you're like shopping and you're just like, my cart has like the oddest things in it?
Yes.
I only had 3 things, but it was like all totally different things that don't go together.
Yes.
So I was like, "Ugh, I wonder what the checkers think. Like, what the fuck is she gonna do
I
today?"
have definitely been there, and I don't realize it until I'm putting the stuff on the conveyor belt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, this is weird." So
Okay, so let's go ahead and share our pours for the day.
Mm.
So, Inish, what are you drinking?
I had some leftover twisted teas. I have a peach twisted tea that I poured to keep it fancy in my cup, and I have another one back up just in case.
Yes, I like
What
it.
did you pour?
Okay, so as part of my chaos this morning, I went to Dollar Tree and I was looking for a martini glass. They didn't have
Ooh.
any, but they
Oh
had a margarita glass.
my gosh, that's huge.
So, in this margarita glass, I poured one of the 3 items from my shopping cart this morning, which is an espresso martini. All I had to
Mhm.
do was like mix it up in my shaker with some ice and I poured it in. It's good. It's a little strong. So I was just like, get a little day drunk. Why not?
Yes, I love that. That's why I got my
Yeah.
extra twisted teas here. So
Right. Yes. All right. Yeah. 2 hands for this one.
all right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Today, we are diving into promises. Do we constantly make promises we cannot keep? Do people believe you when you make them a promise? Anisha and I will explore promises in pop culture and with our own family. Now, moving on to hot topics. For our hot topics and trends, the first one is the Barbie Dream Fest that happened towards the end of March. It's also being known as the Barbie Fire Fest 2.0. Now, the Fire Fest, if anyone remembers, it was this awful planned out concert that Ja Rule was like sponsoring or something like that. And it was just a total shit show.
Yeah, fire, FYRE, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes. Yeah. So they're calling this Barbie Dream Fest like a fire fest. Because it had false advertising all over social media. There should have been A-list speakers, games, active exhibits, and a whole glam experience.
Hmm.
Tickets range from I believe from like $70 to $450 for an adult ticket, and it was a 3-day experience.
But it was an adult experience?
So it wasn't just for adults, but that's just like where the tickets range. It didn't say
Okay.
how much a child's ticket was worth. And I looked for myself on TikTok. So you can find this on TikTok, on Instagram. Just type in Barbie Fire Fest. No, not Barbie Fire Fest. Barbie Dream Fest 2026. And you will see what people were led to believe was going to be there and what actually happened. So when you think of Barbie, or even like the Barbie movie, Anish, have you seen the Barbie movie?
Yes, with, what's his face? Ryan
Ryan Gosling
Gosling.
and who's that really pretty girl?
I love her too, and I can't think of her name.
Shoot. Okay, the blonde
Yes.
lady.
Gosh, what's her name?
Margot Robbie.
Marvel. There it is. Go ahead.
Margot Robbie. So it's Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling in the Barbie movie. And the Barbie movie is it's pink. It's just everything that you would fantasize Barbie to be, especially if you grew up playing with the Barbie houses and the cars. And like I had all that stuff. So when I watched the Barbie movie, it was exactly what I pictured. People went to this Barbie Dream Fest picturing just that. And instead they got a huge warehouse environment. There was some vendors, but I think what went wrong was the space was humongous. It was huge. And all you see is this concrete everywhere. So just like gray, which is
The
total opposite of
opposite.
Barbie.
Yeah.
You had a box looking Barbie house. So it was not interactive. Like you could take pictures in front of it, which apparently you had to pay for. Like you had to pay for everything or most things. There was like the roller rink that they were supposed to have, like the 90s style roller rink, all Barbie. And there was like, it was just like panels that said like Barbie or Barbie Fest. It's on the side. And it was mainly kids that were in there roller skating. Mind you, it was targeted more towards adults. So the adults that I saw on TikTok mentioned like adults wouldn't be able to skate in here. There's a bunch of kids. So it was totally just very misleading for the adults who bought the ticket. So it was a huge disappointment. Mattel, which is the maker of Barbie, had sold the license for a day or for this event. So like the event was able to have all this Barbie stuff with Mattel's
Yeah.
permission. However, it did not have the expectations that um that the participants, the customers
We're
were
expecting.
envisioning.
Yeah.
And they even they had a swag bag that apparently was just like a pouch with some hand sanitizer.
Wow.
Like, whoever came up with this definitely missed the mark for sure. Like, the venue
Yeah.
didn't have to be so big.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why? Why set people up? So Mattel did say that they were going to be issuing refunds. Has that happened yet?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But at least they
Trust
have
it.
commented, yes, they have addressed the situation. But it just false promises, right? You're gonna get one thing,
Yeah.
you get something totally different. And the people like flew in to this place to go for this experience and they were totally let down.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that whoever Mattel signed off to, maybe they didn't do the proper background check, or maybe it was a legit company and they just took advantage of the people that have a true passion and love for Barbie, and that's
Right.
unfortunate. Like the same thing with the Fire concert or whatever you called it,
Firefest. Yeah.
Fire Fest.
Now, for our next trend, it has to do with the Gen Z. Gen Z is choosing work to live rather than live to work. So, unlike the previous generations, because there are fewer rewards for their hard work. What was promised to the generations before, such as stability, pensions, and the ability to move up, is really no longer a thing. So, Gen Z has a different approach to work and their attitudes which definitely show. A lot of us feel like Gen Z, they're lazy, they don't want to work, they don't take things seriously. But also, it is a different time for them because one, everything is so expensive. Going to college is showing that you're more in debt than you are like successful for the most part. Well, not necessarily successful, but like it just takes time to gain the money or to do what you want to do, and you still have all this debt and have the interest that piles up and all these fake promises about debt relief, and it costs so much money, it's almost not worth it sometimes. But there's so many things they've had to go through. COVID, which we all did, but being with the age gap where they were at the time, it's just kind of made things harder for them. So they're like, I'm going to work to live, not live to work, because clearly the rewards aren't that great anyways. Our prior generations, typically it's been that you gain more wealth than like your parents did, and your parents gained more wealth than their parents did, and so on and so on. And that it's kind of gotten stagnant. It's we're not there anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I they're obviously exercising their freedom of speech and everything. I think some of it has gotten a little out of hand, especially with just their mentality towards certain things and how they approach situations. The fact that just recording stuff is so big, and they'll record, "Oh, I just got fired today and I recorded it." Or, "Watch me cuss my boss out today," or something.
Right.
I think that social media definitely has a lot to do with it because they're seeing that as a means to an end, being on social media as a form of income, not really understanding that you still have to put in work. And I think the generation's lazy, and I think it's a little crazy because you don't need to record everything. Yeah, how many videos have you seen people pulling out phones instead of physically helping someone if something happens?
Ugh,
And
I
so
hate that.
yeah, so as far as work goes, we're grinding to the end, us older folks, and these young folks are just trying to find the easy way out is how I see it, and then they're looking for excuses. "Oh, I don't have to do this, so I'm not gonna do it. I didn't show up for work for 3 days. Why did they fire me?" That's annoying. That whole trend is annoying. That sounds
Yeah.
crazy to me.
So I agree with you to a certain extent because I do feel that I mean, just overall, like we've been taught you work hard, you play hard. But
Mm.
it doesn't always pan out that way. Sometimes you're working, 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 and you're not getting any of the rewards. You don't get that promotion like you thought you were. I know it's happened to so many people where they're up for a promotion and they don't get it because they give it to someone else who maybe has the higher education or whatever and not the experience. It's just like these false promises that they get. Vacation time. I guess you have vacation time, but they give them a hard time when you use it. So I can see like that just being like, you know what? I saw my parents deal with this. I'm not going to deal with it type stuff. So I can commend them with not wanting a 9 to 5 and maybe not living to work. But yeah, but then I also do see some aspects where some will take it too far and they are a little lazy. So when I in the article that I read where I got this information from, that that part when it said that they were burnt out, in my head I'm like, "Burnt out from what? You're not
Yeah,
working. What are you burnt out on?"
yeah. I think it
But I don't know. I see a little bit of like both ways, I guess.
I can see them seeing their parents strive and struggle, but I think that also means what's your career path and is that even where you even want to be? Maybe you're just working a job and you saw someone get the promotion and you're in reality, maybe that's not even the career path that you truly even want to be on. You're just doing it for the income and then you get upset and wake up and quit one day. And so maybe their perspective on that is like, "Well, I don't even want to be here anyway, so peace out."
Yeah, yeah.
I can see the frustration if it's your career and someone gets a promotion over you. The only thing I could think of is becoming partner for a lawyer or
Yeah.
something. And you don't make partner, but and then
Yeah.
you leave and start your own firm. That's all the movies sell us at this point. But so I could see if you've been promised something and then you don't get it and you want to leave. That is I can yeah, I commend someone for doing that and in any generation if you can do that. But, Gen Z is taking it over the top because 'cause they're gonna record that. "Oh, I went in for my promotion today. Let's watch when I didn't get," and then, everyone's, "What? Why do I see this? I'm quitting right now," And then
Yeah.
so, yeah, I get it, though.
Let's get into our deep dive. So, what we discussed earlier was promises, right? That's what our episode's going to be about. Let's define what a promise is. So, in the dictionary, promise is a binding declaration or commitment to act or refrain from acting in a specific way, establishing trust and expectation between parties. Consequences of breaking a promise include damaged relationships, loss of trust, and potential legal or personal repercussions. And there are also four types of promises. So there is expressive promises, which are explicitly stated either verbally or in writing. So, like, I promise I'm going to call you today. Implied promises are understood through context or actions rather than spoken. Reciprocal promises, agreements where both parties exchange promises, and conditional promises, which I feel like if you're a parent, you use these a lot, are dependent on a specific event occurring.
Mhm.
So, how do you keep a promise? It requires commitment, ensuring the promise is realistic before making it, clear communication, and prioritizing the obligation. Aineesh, are you someone who makes a lot of promises?
No,
Why?
I just don't. I don't wanna commit myself to a situation because I feel that life be lifing and anything can happen. And so to put myself in the corner to literally say, "I promise that this is gonna happen," is not even in my vocabulary. I don't I used to pinky promise when I was younger and do all that stuff, but if I'm gonna do it, I'll do my best to do that for you. I mean, I've said, "Oh, I'll call you back," and then don't or something. It's not like I promised to call you back. I might have made a statement. It's a hit or
Right.
miss. But yeah, so no, I don't make promises.
Okay.
I make threats. No, I was kidding.
Is it oh.
I was kidding.
So is it safe to say that when you do promise that it carries weight? It's going it's a real promise. There's no, cross your heart, hope to die, or Bible or anything like that, right?
Yes, I mean, I mean what I say and I say what I mean. So, my word is my bond. If I say that I'm going to do something, I intend to do it, but I don't attach the word promise to it. Yeah. What about you?
So I will say that I think the word promise at times, especially when it comes to my son, um, has been thrown around a lot more than it should have. And that has gotten me into, I guess, some predicaments with him because now he's kind of like, well, do you really promise? So now I've learned not to promise as much. But there are times so where I feel he hears or he assumes that I say something and it's a promise. I didn't promise actually. So it's gotten a little rocky sometimes with that word. So I know I've been doing a little bit better about throwing that word around because you're right, life happens and, you can't control things sometimes. And so it kind of would force you to break a promise. But if you don't promise, then you're not really breaking anything and that trust hopefully would still be there. Uh,
Mm.
So, what is a promise that you've been told or have told that was not kept?
For me, again, I can't remember literally the last time I've even said the word promise to anyone. My husband has made innuendos of, like, even rewards. "Oh, if you do this, you'll get this." And
Hmm.
to me, that could be a form of a promise. And I got upset that he did that. And I had a discussion with him. And no, we don't do that. And especially because he was going to reward bad behavior and just to get get what we wanted to happen. And I told him, no, we don't do that. Because now he's going to try to act right because you said that. So for me, I can't think of anything that I've done and then to reverse that, if someone's made a promise to me, I can't, people say stuff that they're gonna do and they don't do it. I've had that probably happen more times, and that I guess that maybe that's why I don't put myself in situations like that because I know how it makes me feel. The older I'm getting, the less I feel like people will say stuff to me, and I take it as a grain of salt. Like, you're saying it, but, if you do it, that's great. If you don't do it, okay, I don't even care anymore. I used to care a lot more, even just as easy as a few years ago. But I'm definitely realizing the older that I'm getting that people's words mean less and less to me. It's all about action. So that's the best way that I can answer your question.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And that makes sense. And I definitely see what you're saying. And as I was doing some research for this episode, it did kind of come across that a lot of people, and it's not even just Gen Z, but just all generations are saying that people's word, it really should just be taken with a grain of salt, right? Like, your actions are gonna speak, not so much
Yeah.
your words. So I get that for sure. And I know I'm guilty and maybe not so much with promises, but just saying something, I'm gonna do something and then I don't. There's that fine line between saying something and then promising. But regardless, if you say something, you should do it.
Yeah.
But how many of us are guilty
You know what?
of that?
I do have I do have a moment that I said something and it was my word. I don't remember making a promise, but I could have said it at the time. I'm thinking like 16 years ago. Well, like 15 or 16 years ago, I was asked to babysit one of my friend's sister's daughters. And I was like, yes, absolutely. I guess I thought it was a joke or something. And they were waiting for me to show up. And I hadn't even left where I needed to leave that next day to go. And I guess, I thought it was a joke when they had asked me. And I just didn't take the moment serious. And they called me like, "Girl, where are you?" I was like, "Oh, crap, are you serious?" And they were like, "Yes, we were very serious." And I was like, "Oh, crap." And
Oh
at
my
the
gosh.
time, I lived like 45 minutes away. And so they had to wait an hour and a half for me to get my life together and drive out there and do what I said I was gonna do the day before. And they knew when they had asked me whatever my response was gonna be, they believed me, obviously. "Anisha will do it." She said, "Yes, she'll be here. Don't worry about it. It's taken care of." And then I didn't show up until they called me, and luckily, everything was fine. We laughed about it at the time because I don't remember the exact situation or the circumstances to make me think that it wasn't real.
Yeah.
So, there's that. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. I don't know why.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But you know what? I mean, it's a learning lesson, I'm sure, because you're like, "Okay, I'll definitely when if I
Mm,
say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna make sure that." Like, "Wait, are you
yes.
joking or not joking?" Right?
Yes.
Let's clear that up. "Do you really want me to do this for you?" but then also you still showing up. Like, yes, you were late, but still held you to your word. So they probably still feel like they could trust you when you say something. Just be a little more clear about the communication. Okay,
Yes.
this is really going to go down.
Yes, yeah, so I still drove out and made the drive there and got there and babysat her daughter, and she was a baby too, but so yeah, so like I said, at the end of the day, my word is my bond. I don't make promises. If I say I'm gonna do something, I plan on doing it.
Yeah, I've broken promises to my son. It was me putting my foot in my mouth, basically. I shouldn't have promised. I think one of the things was taking him to Baskin Robbins, and I don't remember why, but it was one of those additional promises, like, "Oh, if you do this, I'll do that." And I couldn't. Something happened. I couldn't take him. I think I was like really tired, or it wasn't gonna happen. And he was so upset. And I was
Mhm.
like, "I'll take you tomorrow. I'll take you tomorrow. I promise." And there I goes with my promises again. But this time I feel like I really had a promise for him to believe me and kind of leave me alone at the moment. So eventually I did take him the next day. But that's one of those things I was like, you know what? Like, I need to make sure that I'm watching what I say because he's young and I don't want him to grow up thinking you can promise and not keep it. I don't want that to be a thing for him. So do you ever feel that you are questioned when promising something to others?
I don't. If I make a statement, since I just don't think I say do I say promise? Have you ever heard me say promise?
I
No,
don't think so.
I'm questioning my own thoughts right now. But if I say that I'm going to do something or show up or be somewhere, then I really don't feel that anyone's ever questioned what said. I feel that I get invited to places and like off the wall locations. Hey, meet me in Dallas in a week or two. Okay. Yes, I'll be there. And I say that as an example because my sister asked me to meet her in Dallas, or, I think I asked her and I'll show up. And she showed up and we met in Dallas and we saw Chris Brown. I bought the ticket within 2 weeks and it happened. And so I feel I'm just the make it happen friend. And if you're feeling adventurous, I feel I'm that friend that people will call because they know that Anisha's about that life. If I call her and say, hey, we ride at dawn. Okay, we ride at dawn. Who we riding on? So no, I think that I can confidently say that I feel that my husband, my friends, my family know that if they approach me with something, be very serious about it because I'm going to say yes. And
Good.
I'll be there.
And I will say you are that friend who's like just down for whatever. So I think growing up, mainly, we used to, or at least I remember saying stuff like, all right, you pinky promise, and you had to like connect pinkies and like
Mhm.
even kiss your thumbs, swear to God, you're not lying, or Bible, I
Bible,
heard
the
Bible a lot.
Kardashians.
Kardashians, yes. And then, cross your heart, hope to die, stick a
Mhm.
needle in your eye, and then
Yes.
no crossies count type of stuff. All those like childish things. But is there anyone, and it might even be me at this point, but is there anyone where you feel like as a grown adult, you need to ask them, like, do you pinky promise or, you swear, and, as adults, we really don't say you swear to God anymore, right?
Don't you swear to God.
But like, do you still feel that at times as an adult where you're just like, you're promising, but
Yes,
I don't
and
know.
again, I don't think any of my friends say promise, but if as an adult, like you said, we don't pinky promise and do all that stuff anymore. Again, as I'm getting older, I feel that people's word isn't their bond anymore in my circle. And I still love all y'all, but I don't trust half of y'all or more than half at this point. And again, I'm realizing that the older that I'm getting, and it's getting to the point that I know who to invite or who not to invite. My sister's word is her bond. If she says she's going to do something, she'll be there. And that's one person in my life that we mirror each other. It could be we're the same sign too. So I don't know if that
Mm.
has anything to do with it. But yes, are there friends out there, black and white to answer your question? Absolutely. There are absolutely friends that if pinky promising as an adult was a thing, I would pinky promise all of you but my sister.
Hey, that's fair. Sure.
Yes. What about you?
So typically, no, like between like us, we really, well, at least you don't make any promises. And so we're good. I think the only thing is like, and I know you wouldn't even promise this, like, can you be on time? you know? So,
Yeah,
and,
I know.
it was one of those things, when I would like pick you up from your house and you take like 10 minutes to come outside. It's like, I'm not going to be there until, you tell me you're already outside.
I'm doing better.
But I mean, that was like one of those things. But other than that, I don't think so. My husband, he's really good with his word. There is this one thing, and I am going to mention it on here. Okay. There's one thing that I can think of where he claims to be a man of his word. And 99.9% of the time he is. If he says something, it's going to happen. But it was like one of those conditional promises. We got turf in the backyard. I didn't want turf. I like the fresh green grass. But he was having battles with the gophers that he was constantly losing. Finally, okay, but if we get this turf, I want like an outdoor kitchen. Like I want like the grill with the counters and all that stuff because I am trying my journey of becoming a barbecue master.
Mhm.
And he said yes. He told me that would happen. And we got the turf, and I didn't expect to do it right away. Like the turf, it was a little pricey, so it's pretty something we would
Mhm.
have to like save up for. But then as time is passing, I'm like, hey, you said.
Mhm.
And he's kind of like, well, you know what? Like, you're not even going to use it that much, blah, blah, blah. Had all these excuses for me. I'm like, okay, maybe I don't use it every day, or maybe I don't use it every week, but I will for sure use it at least once a month. Okay. And if you get some good food out of it, like, it's fine. So I still, to this day, do not have my outdoor kitchen or grilling area, whatever you want to call it. And that is the one thing I can think of where he did not keep his promise. Other than that, I really don't feel like it too much. Now, when it comes to my son, that's different. I'm going to need you to pinky promise and Bible and cross your heart and all this stuff because he turned out a lot like me,
Mhm.
unfortunately. So with
Yes.
him, I'm trying something new. So one of the things that made me think of this here episode is that we were at church and our pastor, he made a comment about promises and how one day his daughter, and this was like a long time ago, but his daughter like came up to him and like he said something to her and she was like, do you promise? Because clearly one promise was not enough, right? Like
Mhm.
when you regularly promise, it might not happen. But if you promise, then you might actually follow through.
Mhm.
And that's when he learned, like, I got to be careful with what I say because clearly I'm making an impression. Like my daughter doesn't trust me, doesn't trust my words. So when I heard that, it made me think of my own situation with my son
Mhm.
because I know there's times where I have, without thinking, just said the word promise, just thrown it out there. And now that my promises, I feel like don't carry much weight when it comes to him. But to teach him that, you know what, I'm not going to promise anymore, unless it's something really big, but like, I'm not going to promise, but I'm going to try my best. I'll try my best to, take you to Baskin Robbins, or I'll try my best to, have you hang out with your cousins this weekend or whatever the case is, because, the promises, they turn to broken promises and then we'll lose trust. But if I say that I'm trying, I'm going to do my best,
Yeah.
then hopefully he'll see that and he'll know like, okay, I didn't guarantee anything. I didn't guarantee you were going to get that ice cream or I didn't guarantee that you were going to see your cousins, but I did try. And then also teaching them that life happens, that you have
Yeah.
to be flexible because things happen and we don't always have control. And therefore these kids need to learn that flexibility. You need to be flexible because sometimes these things are going to happen. There's not, and at their age, there's really nothing you can do about it. You just got to go with the flow with whatever mom and dad do.
Mhm.
So once again, when I heard that at church, I was like, you know what? I know I'm guilty of that. And I want to show my son something better. So we had that conversation. I was like, you know what, Benny, like I'm gonna do my best to not promise you things anymore. Because I want you to trust me and I don't mean to lie to you. Like I don't mean to break my promises to you, but sometimes things happen and you need to learn that life happens and you also need to learn that you can't promise everything because not every promise can be kept.
Right.
So yeah, so that's where that came from, and I know that I need to work on it. So and things like I'm not a liar. Like that's one thing I kind of like pride myself on is like I don't lie, but sometimes stuff happens that kind of like will force me in that direction. But it wasn't like a direct lie. Like it wasn't a lie that I meant to say on purpose. It was more
Yeah.
like a situational type thing.
Yeah.
And so I that's me trying to teach my son like, hey, don't make promises you can't keep and
Mhm.
even then, like, when you make even, like, in your case, like, if you ever do make a promise or when you make a promise, something can still happen that'll
Yeah.
force you to break that promise, but it would be something more situational and not intentional.
Right, yeah, absolutely situational. I'm thinking about just based off what you're saying, there's when we're potty training, kinda, sorta, and I told you already the baby will get a treat when he goes in the potty, and oddly enough, both of my kids enjoy those Kinder Eggs, and we've been so that's their treat. So if he does his due diligence in the potty, he'll get an egg. But he'll try to "Oh, I peed in it. Can I" "No, you gotta do number 2, sir." And if we run out of eggs, which we have because we've found actually at Sam's Club, they have a big ol' enough to last a minute. We're getting like 6 packs or something, but, we have a larger variety now, but, he if we didn't have one, I have to, "Hey, we gotta go to the store and buy some more tomorrow. We don't have any right now in this moment." And he's looking at me, "But I pooped in it. Where's my egg? Why aren't they on deck, these eggs?" And, even at his little baby age, I'm teaching him, "Life be lifing, and we just ain't got no eggs right now. We ran out, so I got you tomorrow."
Even realistically, like, eventually there's gonna come a time where you're not
Yeah, you're
getting an
not gonna
egg
get
every
egg.
time you poop.
Right, exactly, that part too,
I'm
but
13 years old, "Mom, I pooped, where's my egg?"
where's my egg? And so, I mean, so we've had moments like that to where we don't have any, we forgot to stock up, and they're like, "But hey, that's what you told me I'm going to get whenever I do this. So why isn't it ready and available?" And then I go, "Oh, because I didn't buy any more just yet." So we have moments like that, but other
Right.
than that, but yeah, you're right. Eventually, it's gonna stop. Calm down.
Good luck for that time.
I know. Yeah, because he'll pee a little bit looking for an egg. "Sir, you are not getting an egg." "Oh, my egg." So I'm crying about an egg, but no, yeah, I think being aware of your situation and being aware of your actions is amazing, and changing it just a little bit, tweaking it a little bit can absolutely change the outcome in the end. So I think that's great that you're recognizing that and, yeah, tweak it a little bit and teaching that to Benny to understand life be life and kid. People are gonna make promises and break promises. And, like you said, you're still waiting on your stage to cook
Yeah,
and
oh, yeah, my outdoor grill.
your outdoor grill.
One
So
day. One
one
day, I
day,
hope, especially after this episode.
right?
I didn't forget.
Get that girl.
But all right, it is time to get into our Sing to Me segment. So, for anyone who is new to our show, the way it works is I will ask Ainisha a question based on some song lyrics. The goal is not only that she answers the question correctly, but that she sings it back to me correctly. And then we'll switch and vice versa. Okay, so Ainish, are you ready?
I never am, but let's go for it.
All right, SWV. Okay. In their song Weak, lyrics are In my condition, she doesn't want what?
To be alone. Oh my gosh.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, that is like
Oh
a
my
record.
gosh.
She didn't sing everything to me first, every other line first.
Oh
Holy
my gosh.
guacamole.
So where's the confetti? Where are my balloons? See, there it is. Yay. Yay me.
All right. Wow.
I was about to start sweating until I wasn't.
Well, the next one's hopefully
Oh
harder.
my
Okay.
gosh. All right.
Hopefully.
Okay.
That one's easy.
All right. Okay. In the song Maria Maria, performed by Carlos Santana, featuring the product G and B, where did Maria grow up?
Growing up in Spanish Harlem, she's living life just like a movie star. Maria,
Yeah.
Maria. Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Correct, correct. Yay. Got
Dang.
it.
Ooh,
That was
okay.
easy.
Well,
That
now
was easy.
I'm excited for this next one. Okay. Now, in Ashton Martin music, Rick Ross says he loves a nasty girl who swallows what? I know Rick Ross is your guy.
He's my guy. I haven't heard any of his music in a minute, though. Okay.
He loves a nasty girl who swallows.
I don't know. I'm thinking dirty, but I'm like, I don't want to say something dirty. He doesn't even say that in the song. She's swallowing a beverage? No. I don't know.
Yeah, are you scared to say?
I'm thinking pipe, but I don't think that's it.
Right.
Yeah, I don't
So,
know.
seems like you lost this one.
Stumped me.
Rick Ross says he loves a nasty girl who swallows what's on the menu.
No.
My down bitch, the one who lives by the code.
Oh, it's been so long. Well, it's funny that you even chose him because you're right, I am a fan. But on my Throwback Thursdays, now that I'm thinking about it, they don't play Rick Ross. It's more like it's further back that they play, like 90s, um,
Hmm.
for my Throwback Thursday. It could be the artist, though, that I'm choosing to play to, and I don't even really think about it, but okay, well played, well played, well played. Alright, here you go. Good luck. How sure is Lil Mo about her new love in her song Forever?
So sure. I don't know. I don't even know the song. I don't think I know the song.
I don't know what I thought your answer was gonna be. I'm lying. I thought you would have went a different direction. I didn't expect that direction once you hear the answer. That is your final answer?
Yes, because I have no idea how that
Okay.
song even goes.
Now that love's taken over, I'm 100% sure that it's me and you loving
Dang.
me for life.
Yeah. Now I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that nothing. I mean, I guess I could have said 100% because that was probably easy.
That's what I'm
But it was
saying,
too
like
easy. That's why I said so. I'm so sure.
yeah, so the answer is 100% sure. Ha, we're 1 for 1 today. Today, we're 1 for 1. Yay.
Forrest, let's go ahead and go into our last segment of the day. We are at Bridgerton. Now, we have been recapping episodes one at a time. We are going to do two episodes today. So, episode 5 and 6, which are really good, if I say so myself. It's
Mhm.
yeah, I wanted to keep going. I watched the episode 6 this morning and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I really want to watch the next one." But no, I held back, especially because the way it ended. Oh man, there's a
Mhm.
lot to unpack here.
Yes.
So, Inish, do you want to start us off with episode 5?
So, episode 5 of season 4, titled Yes or No. So, apparently, one of the first things that I noticed is that we're late to the party because the most common word in Mayfield is be my mistress. That's how they started off the
Mm,
episode with the voiceover person yapping at us was be my mistress. And so, immediately, since that was one of the first things that she spoke to us, our British speaking lady is be my
Julie
mistress.
Andrews.
Julie Andrews? That's the actress. She states that, she makes that known, and I'm like, "Okay." I'm immediately thinking that that's what we're gonna be talking about, these next 50 minutes or 65 minutes, however long the episode was. And Benedict wrote Sophie a letter, talking crazy, like, "Sir, you can't get the hint? Not you asking her be to figure it out. Yes or no? You didn't give me an answer. Oh
Right.
my gosh. What's taking so long? Oh my gosh. Let's go meet somewhere." And I had to pause it to make sure I read all the words. And Sophie burned the letter because why are you playing in my face? That's crazy. Did you not get the
I
hint?
love her.
She about that life. And, you're a girl's girl. Like, quit playing. I like her too.
Mm,
I really do like her. And she burned the letter. And I have been a little annoyed that she hasn't said anything, but also, sir, figure it out. I'm learning more about you because I should have known about you, but now I'm in real time learning who your character is and who you are and your family and stuff. So she's moving. I feel like she's moving accordingly now at this point.
mhm,
Bridgerton did her thing.
mhm.
Sophie at this point now is also trying to figure out her next move because we clearly can't be in the same house because your intentions are annoying because you just told me that you're looking for the gloved woman, or you didn't just tell her, but she knows that because
Right.
of Lady Whistledown. But yet you're already planning your demise with this woman that you claim to love, and you've had your in-law put it in the paper, and here you already trying to have a mistress. Sir, no. And then the last thing I'll touch base on is his brother-in-law, Benedict's brother-in-law, when he was talking to him about Sophie and what's the problem? What's going on? Why can't I get this girl? And he's like, "Sir, you need to
Like,
really,
are you an idiot?
what are you doing?" And the one thing he said was navigate her feelings. I think that's what I wrote. I don't know if he said that, but I wrote down navigate her feelings. So I think he said something around that lines of figure it out. What are you talking about that you asked her to do that? Get out of here. So that's my take or my
Yeah.
summary, if you will.
Right. Yeah. So and I agree, like, his words, like, he just really wasn't freaking getting it. Like, you asked her to be your mistress. Who wants to be asked that? Nobody. Okay. And being in her position, like, really, like, I can't move. Like, mistress is like as high as I can get. Like, that fucking sucks. So,
I'm gonna stop you though. I think everyone wants to be asked a mistress though in that time, right? She's just
well, I guess
different.
if you're in the if you're a maid, right? If you're in
Yes.
that stat, okay,
Yes.
yes. So I was saying not everyone,
Yeah.
but yes, I get what you're saying. Yeah. So, but yeah, she is different, but also her background, her who she is. Her mother was a maid. Okay, she is
Mhm.
a little illegitimate child. So being who she is, I also think that. Oh, I know that that comes into play when she's just like, no, I know what that's like. I am a product of that. But
Mhm.
he doesn't know that yet. But even if he doesn't know that, like, you can't just think you're all high and mighty. Oh, I asked her to be my mistress and she's upset. What? You're not even married, first off. So how dare you ask her to be your mistress and not your wife? Like, and mind you, like that couldn't have been the thing in that time frame, but there had to be better words he could have said.
Mhm.
Like, you could have said something better. But I think
Mhm.
he just got so caught up in seeing his friend being so in love with his mistress that
Mhm.
he thought like, he was impressionable, like, "Oh, okay, like, that's how I'm gonna get Sophie is to ask her to be my mistress because of
Yes.
society." No, she's not that type of woman, thank goodness. This would be a whole different story.
Yes. Which turned out to be a poop show, his friend's mistress situation because of Lady Whistledown, and she got mad at Lady Whistledown because she exposed their love affair, that
Mhm.
particular woman, and knocked on the door. I'm like, "Oh,"
Yeah, she did.
she went
Right?
after the
And
I'm just a messenger.
she wanted Penelope to feel sorry for her, but it's like, you chose to be a mistress. No one made you, and you guys went out in public. Like, they were
Mhm.
out in public. Like,
Yes.
maybe not in the most high society places, but
Right. But everyone knew.
regardless, you're out. Yeah,
Or there were
everyone
whispers.
already knew. Mhm. Yeah, Lady Whistledown just made it official, I
Yes.
guess.
Yes.
So episode 5 ends with um, Benedict and Sophie. Well, actually, let me go back a little bit. Towards the end of the episode, Benedict gets to the ball. Hyacinth, I don't know how to say her name. Hyacinth, the daughter, the younger sister, Hyacinth,
The one that's about that, like, she's really
like
wait,
her debutante ball. Yeah,
let me see, where's her name at?
Hyacinth. It's Hya synth. Hyacinth. It's
That's
not the
not right.
easiest.
Whatever you're saying ain't right. Don't sound familiar. Is it? Is what you're saying? Why don't I see it? Oh, Hyacinth. Hyacinth? Hyacinth? Is it Hyacinth? You wrote Hyacinth. Hyacinth?
Yeah, but I don't know if that's how you say it. I don't know how to say it.
Oh, shit.
Okay. All right. So I'll just say the younger sister. The younger sister has her debutante ball. They're like practicing. And Benedict shows up. He knows he's going to run into Sophie. Sophie starts to not feel very well uh, because she
Mhm.
sees Benedict. No, that Lady Penwood showed up.
Or her stepmom. Her stepmom showed up.
Lady Penwood shows up with her daughters, and Sophie feels sick, right? She needs to disappear. So she goes upstairs. Benedict sees her and he's like, "What's wrong?" And they end up going to the room. They have this big old conversation. He confesses his love to her. She also responds that she loves him, and they end up making love in the room.
And mom chased him down too. It was like, "Don't you do that."
Yes. So right before Benedict chases her, Miss Lady Bridgerton finds him on the stairs and is like, "You need to stop. Like, leave her alone for her sake." Like, she's more
'Cause she
worried
figured
about
it out.
Sophie, really.
Mhm. 'Cause she figured
Yes.
out her identity.
Right. Exactly. And so so Benedict kind of blows up and is like, "Oh, you think I don't know what you're doing with, Lord Anderson, you know, in the same house as my siblings are in, blah, blah, blah." So he
Mhm.
kind of like blew up on her, which was like out of line. Like,
Right.
she is a grown ass woman
Okay.
in her own home.
Okay.
And, there you go upstairs and you have sex in the same room. It's still her
Like,
home.
"Sir."
But, uh, but yeah, so then he meets Sophie in the room. They have some words and they exchange the I love yous. And then they finally have that intimate moment. And that's kind of how it. And, no, actually, Alice Mondridge, who is now the new lady in waiting for Queen Charlotte,
Mhm.
does witness what happened, or at least comes to an idea of what happened in that bedroom. And she could say something about it, but she ends up keeping it to herself. And we'll learn about that a little bit more once we get into episode 6.
Mhm.
Actually, really quick, before we get into episode 6, we need to touch base on Francesca and Michaela. So that ends up being a little bit of a bigger storyline than I expected it to be based off episode 6. So Michaela is Francesca's husband's cousin. Francesca doesn't really care for her too much. She kind of feels like she takes a lot of John's time, but they're able to finally move past that initial awkwardness and they become friends. Then moving on to Penelope. Penelope in episode 5, she asks Queen Charlotte to allow her or give her blessing or approval to stop writing her columns. And Queen Charlotte says no. But she's telling her, like, since I've exposed myself of being Lady Whistledown, like, it's not the same anymore. It's different. People look at me different. She got approached in her own home at this point. Like, it's just kind of carrying a lot of weight on her.
Yeah. She should change her name and she writes as an alias was my thing that like, say she quits and it's done and then somebody else comes up, but it's still her, under a different alias, is what I feel like she should do, but because
Right.
she loves
So
to
I
write.
like that you said that because that will lead us into episode 6.
Mm.
So in episode 6, and this was like kind of towards the end. No, no, no. It wasn't towards the end. So it was like the mid episode where Penelope goes back to Queen Charlotte and she kind of has like a speech to say to her and basically how the queen feels trapped within her own castle and not being able to be out in society. That's how she feels trapped. And she feels like she traps other people who can't live their lives because at any time Lady Whistledown could write about them. Whatever it was that she said nudged on the queen's heart, I believe, because we learned that the queen did allow Penelope or Lady Whistledown to go ahead and write her last column, which she did and she distributed during the new Lady Pinwood during her pink ball that she had, her pink thing ball. And that's where everyone got the news at the same time that Lady Whistledown would be no longer. But when Penelope goes back to the queen to let her know that it was a success, like letting people know that she wasn't going to be it anymore, the queen does say, I look forward to your future writing or something like that.
Mhm.
And hopefully getting your gossip still.
I do think that maybe that's what's gonna happen, and I think that she'll just go under an alias because she loves to write, and her and her husband had a moment, I think, to where it seemed like he was kinda proud of her, I guess,
Right,
for doing that, but I do think that that's what she should do, is just be her own alias and keep writing.
right.
Yes. One thing that I was also thinking is that Sophie might be pregnant because she keeps checking the calendar.
Yeah,
I noticed that she was checking the calendar and I'm like, "Girl, is she pregnant or no?" I think she
right.
thinks she's pregnant because she keeps checking the calendar.
Yes.
He was her first, and now she's freaking out from my perspective.
So, continuing with episode 6, Sophie is fearing that she's pregnant after her night with Benedict. She fears being a mistress. She has her own history when it comes to being a little illegitimate child. She knows what bringing a child into the world could mean for her and for her child. But Benedict is like promising her, okay, promises to love her. He suggests escaping to the countryside, but there's just so many obstacles for these two because of Sophie's social status that it seems like Benedict is willing to overlook. But Sophie, being who she is like, yes, I know you're promising, and here we go with that promise again. I know you're promising, but at any time you can change your mind.
Mhm.
You're gonna want that family that you could bring home to your mom, that you could put out in society, while me and my child have to be on the back burner, just like Sophie lived her life.
Mhm.
So I see why she has those fears and doesn't necessarily trust Benedict, even though Benedict's like, "I'm telling you, I promise." And she's just like, "No,
Mhm,
like
heard it all
it's not
before.
good enough,
Yeah.
right?" Yeah, so I get it. Anthony and Kate returned from India with their baby Edmund, which was so cute. Oh my gosh,
Mhm.
that baby was so adorable. But Anthony wasted no time in confronting Benedict about his recklessness with Sophie.
Mm,
Clearly, he got the information from his mother,
yes.
but they get into it, and Sophie actually hears the conversation, and I know that's kinda what led to her kinda trying to break things off with yeah, I guess trying to break things off with Benedict because of that conversation that she overheard. Anthony's basically like, "Come to your senses, like, you're gonna be hidden from society, like, I could cut you off now, but I'm gonna give you the opportunity to not make me look like a fool." And luckily, I mean, I feel like what Benedict said in that scene was not wrong. Like, he was standing up for his relationship with Sophie the entire time. So,
Mhm.
in my head, I thought Sophie was gonna find that admirable,
Mhm.
but she took it it's like kinda like she didn't listen to what Benedict said at all and just focused on what Antony was saying about how it was not correct and how he would not be able to bring his family around should they bring a child. How could you look at your child knowing you did what you did, because there will be illegitimate. So I'm sure that struck a chord with her because she's illegitimate. And finally, he does, they meet at their little, like, garden spot where they hung out that first night,
Oh, yeah.
and that's where she kinda, like, breaks it off with him is like, "I'm going to work somewhere else, like, it's just not gonna work, like, you might want a family one day, and I'm not gonna stay around for that day
Mhm.
to happen." And then she tells him that she's not pregnant, but I wonder if she's lying.
Yes, I wrote down that she is pregnant.
She for sure is
In my
pregnant.
notes, I wrote, "She's pregnant. Her cycle never came," is what I wrote down because he opened up about being fluid, and
Yeah, I was
yeah.
surprised with that.
So he opened up about being fluid, and then I wrote, "Damn, the honesty is in the air," was my notes that I wrote down. But then I wrote down, "She pregnant, she lying, she's definitely pregnant, she knows she's pregnant," which is why she felt that, that was the perfect time to say, "I'm leaving because it's time to go because I miss my monthly."
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she is hiding something. I do think she is pregnant. Just like, God, that one time, really. But,
Yeah, well, that's how it be.
you know,
Mm.
yeah, right? So I did kind of feel bad for Benedict, at the end because, she, like, calls, their one night a mistake, and he's just like, "Please don't
Excuse
call
me?
it a mistake." And I feel like it's, like, the other way around. Usually it's the guy like, "Oh, that was a mistake." But it was her saying it, and he was just like,
What is
"Please don't
happening?
call it that." But he really does love her. But I also thought there was a scene where he was kind of, I don't know, just, like, looking through the door or, from the door at, his mother and
Oh, and Lady Danbury came in,
yes,
and they
when
had
that
that heart to
Lady
heart.
Danbury comes in. Yes, and he's, like, kinda, like, watching his mom with, Antony's son, and it's like at that moment he realizes, like, that's never gonna be me if I stayed with Sophie. So,
Mhm.
I thought at that point he was gonna, like, disappear. Like, "Oh, yeah, like, that was a mistake. I shouldn't have said that to Sophie. Like, I actually want this."
I thought the opposite.
Is he really?
Mhm.
Interesting.
I thought that if anything, he probably realized that he loved her so much that he was probably willing to fight for their love because he's
I don't know,
never.
I thought it was pulling on his heartstrings, like, seeing, like, because he's like, "It brings my family so much joy to see, like, my brother's son." So I thought, like, "Oh, maybe he might want that one day for
I think, but
himself."
but he already knows that where he's at, he's not. That's like King Charles and right
He's
now,
the
and right,
heir.
right, exactly. And I think that his thought was like, oh, they already have him. They already have
Right.
the heir. So let me fight for this because you already got what y'all want. So if
Yeah,
even if
and
I
there's
have
still, like, 2 other brothers.
exactly.
So as towards the end of the episode where they meet up for the last time, Sophie does tell him that she was an illegitimate child, that her mother was a maid, her father a nobleman, and that's why she has those fears. So I think Benedict kind of can understand her more. Luckily, it didn't push him away or anything, but that just makes Sophie more comfortable with her decision of trying to end things with Benedict because she already knows how that goes. Like, you're promising me, but not that your word means nothing, but your word means nothing.
Mm.
Like, you can break it at any time because who am I?
Mhm.
I'm just a maid. At the end of the day, Sophie will suffer way more than Benedict will if the relationship does not work out. So
Yes.
I'm torn for her. I really am because I want them to have their happy ending. Then at the very end of the episode, something totally from out of the blue happened. I don't know if you thought you were expecting it at all.
I knew something was wrong. That's what I wrote. I knew something I literally wrote that. I knew something was wrong.
Oh no.
I
I
knew I
I
knew
didn't
it.
think that. I thought maybe he would have a condition.
Mm,
I didn't think it was going to be just so sudden.
sudden. I didn't
If you don't know
I
what we're
didn't
talking
yeah,
about.
I didn't think it was gonna
Yes.
be sudden, but I knew something was wrong with
Right.
them.
Yeah, so Francesca and John Sterling, they're in their home and, they're working, like, on a puzzle with, Michaela, his cousin, and he kinda is like, "Okay, like, I'm done, I have a headache." Maybe it's partly he keeps blaming it on Parliament. This is not the first time that we hear him that he has a headache. Mind you, I didn't think anything of it the first time. This other time, I was like,
I did.
something might be going on, right?" But so he tells Francesca, "I'm gonna take a nap. Please wake me up, like, before dinner," or something like that. So Francesca goes into the room. She's trying to wake him up from his nap, and unfortunately, John is no longer with her.
No, you hear the
He
screams.
Yes, she screams and But honestly, like, I don't know, I'm hoping that he didn't die, but after
I'm thinking that
doing some
maybe she's
research.
I think that he passed, and I think she's probably pregnant now.
Oh, you think so?
I think she got pregnant because I'm not sure if it was episode 5 or 6, but they finally talked about their intimacy issues, and they connect on a deeper level, and I think that's all they needed
Right.
to openly have that discussion, and so my thoughts are that he passes, but she wakes up pregnant.
So we will see how episode 7 goes about because there's so much going on, I think, with almost everyone's life. Um, oh, yeah. So your prediction
Yes.
is you have 2 predictions. You think that Francesca's pregnant
Yes.
and Sophie's
Everybody's
pregnant.
pregnant.
Everyone's
Everyone's
pregnant.
pregnant. You'll get a baby. You'll get a baby.
Everyone's getting babies.
Everyone's getting babies in season 4 of Bridgerton. Everyone's
Okay.
getting a baby. Yes.
So next episode, we will be sharing episodes 7 and 8.
The final season, or excuse me, the
So stay tuned. Oh my gosh. I might binge watch it after this.
yes, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you, so we can talk about that next episode. So stay tuned if you're predicting with us or watching with us at this point, or you watched it already and just want to hear our thoughts about it,
Yeah, our take.
our take.
Yeah. Probably like, oh, they're so wrong.
All right, right. You imagine no spoilers either if you're listening. Don't you go DMing us the answer.
Please don't. Oh my God. So, with that being said, whether you are working on promises, make sure that they are realistic, they are intentional, and you follow through, or a simple, I will try my best, will suffice so you don't come off as someone who does not keep promises and people don't have to pinky promise you anything. And if you're following us and our Bridgerton recap, please make sure you stick around for the finale next week. But once again, thank you for listening. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Pouring in Parenting. You can always press the send text link on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to us, there is a link where you can send a text to us. We will get that. You can DM us, reach out to us with anything you might want to share, you want us to share. We are here for it all.
Absolutely. So, thank you for listening to Pouring and Parenting.
Where sip happens and we pour about it.